This is the Apollo T80, and this is their turbocharger, and I really like this. This is an MPPT. Of course, this helps you squeeze every drop of energy past the point. If you haven't purchased a controller yet, let me light this one up for you. If you haven't purchased a controller yet, I really stress looking into a multiple PowerPoint tracking controller. I've done some comparisons, some tests, and there's a lot of guys out there on YouTube who've showed the difference between just regular pulse with modulated controllers, your standard controllers, but these MPPT controllers really do the job. Again, you know, we've tried them all different ways with different people, you know, they always come out on top. Let's talk batteries. These are AGM, absorbed glass mat batteries. These things are extremely rugged. They don't gas, which is a big thing. You know, if they do, it's very little. I mean, they claim that they don't. I imagine probably very little. But they can take temperatures of sub-zero. They do not freeze, and we've proven that, because when I got these batteries, we had to dig them out of snow. They were sitting on someone's trailer, and they were buried in snow. Eventually I brought them home and thought I had to thaw them out. I wanted them to get them to at least room temperature before we started with them, and no damage at all. These things are absolutely unbelievable. So they pull quite a load to reach 170 amp hours. These are 12 AVR 170 E. Edward T. Tom ET batteries, and I suggest you look into them. I was fortunate enough to get them the way that I did. If you were to buy these batteries, these are Unity 1 Deca. I'm guessing you're very close to 700 per 12 volt battery, $700 US per 12 volt battery. So, you know, there's 4 times 3 sitting right here, so there's 12 of them. So if you do the math, if I had to pay retail on them, well, they probably wouldn't be sitting here. So inside, we've got some leftovers in there. Those are, I have 20 of these Energizer. These are golf cart, 220 amp hour. You guys have probably seen them. You can get them at Walmart at a good price. They are lead acid, they gas, they are not maintenance free like the AGMs. It's absolutely amazing. Here's a couple more of those 220 amp Energizers. These are EGC2, I believe is the model number. Edward George Charles 2. That's the model number on those. A lot of you guys are probably running them. I know the Trojans are a very popular battery. They also do a good job, but the day that these came through the door, things changed for us. We were able to really stay running for a really long time, much longer than I was with more of the 220 amp hour batteries, or the smaller. These batteries are roughly 130 pounds a piece. Anybody who knows batteries, which is pretty much anybody who runs off-grid stuff, you know, the heavier they are, pretty much the better the quality, the longer they're going to last, because of the way that the plates, you know, the thickness, and that makes them heavier, and so forth and so on. So keep in mind when you're shopping batteries, if you get a hernia trying to pick it up, it's generally probably a good battery, as long as it's a deep cycle. I highly recommend these AGMs. I mean, this was really a special gift to be able to get these batteries. They are one thing you got to be careful of with AGMs. If you drop them too low, if you take them down beyond their thresholds, you know, if you go below that 80%, be careful, because you can't bring them back. So always be cautious. I never ever bring mine down probably under, maybe I bring them down a hair under 47 volts. That's it. But when they're fully charged up, they start out at about 52, and I mean, I can run a good long time on that. Previously I've run 9 hours drawing as much as 25 amps AC power at 110, drawing 25 amps off of them, and as much as probably 35 to 40 amps in a snowstorm. But we used a crock pot off of them. We watched TV. The kids were able to do their stuff. We didn't put any restrictions on anybody. We didn't know when the power was coming back, but after 9 hours, fortunately I started with a full charge. After 9 hours, we were still good. Here's how the here's how the 12 and 48 volt systems kind of play nicely together. The everything in this panel originates from a 2-pole breaker right up here, which is run through the transfer switch when the grid is on. Obviously, we're in grid position, we're sending out to here, we're running grid. As soon as I turn the inverter on, the 48 volt inverter, I take things over and I basically grab everything that's going on in this panel as well. Now, if I were to turn this inverter on, basically what happens is I could take the load right out of that's on this box. I could take it away from the 48. Transfer switch will fire over. The Xantrex 12 volt would pick up the loads, everything that's coming out of this box. And out of this box, there's quite a few things. We've got the den. We've got a couple of breakers in there for another scenario we can run as well. But in there we've got the den, we've got the bedrooms. We've got the probably some of the my wife's studio lighting and such are on there. We've got the den TV plasma. I mean, there's quite a bit of stuff. You can see there's a few breakers in there. They're tandems right next to the mains. There's my 48 volt inverter. This is a 5548, 5500 watts at 48 volts. So it's pretty easy. Some of you guys who have these in the 24 volt models, maybe a 4024, maybe a 4048 and the 48 with the 4000. I tried to go as big as possible. I got a great deal. I got this off of eBay for about 900 bucks. I bought it, I believe, like on a Christmas Eve, and maybe everybody was asleep at the switch. I don't know. Sometimes that works in your favor, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes the other guys are thinking the same thing. But whatever the case was, I picked this baby up for about 900 bucks. There's nothing wrong with it. It's been a tremendous piece of equipment, and definitely a great link in my solar apparel. So you know, like I said, you'll see these in all different voltages, size and shape. This one says Trace. It's Xantrex pretty much. They make terrific stuff, so I can endorse them. This is the way to go, though. Go as big as possible, I always say, with your equipment, because you can even swing a deal. I mean, let's face it, every one of us is out there on eBay looking. We're probably all bidding against each other, so if we got together on that, we can all get a bargain. Anyway, I can't wait till I'm picking up a 600 watt grid tie inverter, which I'm going to be able to work with the current panels, and then as I grow the other panels when they get here, we'll make another move from there. I have the counterpart to this Trace inverter, and I could probably show you that out there, but I actually decided I'm going to probably put that back on eBay and sell that. I'm going to start out with the smaller inverters. That one's a little bit bigger, but there it is. There's my pick. There's the Trace 5548. Bad to the bone. I run this baby up 40 amps, no sweat.